light as you saw in the previous vlog, I think, but it is 4:19 p.m. on April 24th, and my mom and I are getting ready to go to Starbucks and to Dunkin' Donuts because my mom likes Dunkin' Donuts coffee and I like Starbucks green tea, and I want to bring Hope with, not to go in, just to go to the drive-thru. We've been through a bunch of drive-thrus, but I want her to keep getting that exposure to the car and that exposure to being in the car and being in the car for a decent amount of time, because other than her coming home, which was 4 hours in the car, the longest she's been in the car was 20 to 30 minutes to my friend's house, which is 20 minutes away from me, but 10 minutes with traffic and getting in the car and stops and stuff like that. And in the summer sometime, or hopefully next summer, we'll be traveling to a place in Maine that you can bring dogs, and I'm definitely going to bring Hope because hopefully by the summer she'll be like more trained, or she'll be like fully trained, because my goal is to only have her do 2 things, which is panic attack response and item retrievals. If it goes to more than that, great, but if it doesn't, then that's okay, because technically by the ADA they only need to know 1 task, because for example a diabetic alert dog only knows 1 task, which is to go and alert to low blood sugar. I mean, some of them know more, but some of them know that 1, and that's it too. So anyway, that's in Maine, and I live in Connecticut, so that's like a 5-hour drive. Not that I want to sit in the car with 5 hours for her, but I want her to be able to be in the car. And right now she's one of the best dogs that I've owned. Let's see, Oliver, Maddie, Sully, and Hope. She's the 4th dog that I remember throughout my childhood and like adulthood, and so far she's been the best in the car. She lays down and she's just good to go. So I don't know if that's because we started her in the car by 9 weeks, taking her to training. I don't know what that was, but she's done really, really well in the car, and she's good around other dogs. And the only thing we haven't worked on is walking with the leash with the wheelchair on the prong collar and putting on the vest. Other than that, she's done pretty well. But that's about it. So I'm going to Instagram story a little bit of this outing, and I'll put it in my outings highlight, and I'm also going to be vlogging this because I think it's important for people to realize that an outing just doesn't have to be like in a store, because right now I don't think she's ready to go into like a Marshall's or something, even though she's potty trained and like I don't think anything would happen. I'm not a huge fan of shopping like that, and it makes me nervous. So because here's also the thing, maybe you guys can give me like some tips or just calm my nerves. Like, okay, so I have this wheelchair over here, this one, but then I also have that huge, gigantic, monstrous power chair out there, which I'll have a tour of that coming soon. I did one. It's a Perpmobile, and it's huge, right? Okay, so we have me, the chair, which I think this is where like my body dysmorphia comes into play, because I'm heavy, like there's no doubt that I'm like a little bit overweight, but like I think that I'm a lot bigger than I am because I have big equipment like a chair and a walker. Try that on for size. But anyway, so I think that one of my concerns with taking her into a store is, right, so I'll have me, right, and then the PCA, coming soon, and then the chair, and her, and even though the PCA is there to help me, it's not their responsibility to hold the dog, right? So then I need a hands-free leash, and we need to work on that. And then you have, like, Karen, who's just a fake name of, you know, someone that I'll use, right? Then you have Karen be like, oh my god, what breed is she? Is she for you? Like, da-da-da-da-da, like, what does she do? All those, like, intrusive questions that you hear people ask, right? And I don't know if I could deal with that. Like, I don't know if your girl can deal with that, because it's just like, that's my business, right? And especially because she's for mostly psychiatric things, like, that's really, and it's not only me, because, like, I talk about it freely, but it's really, really freaking stigmatized, right? And it's really not talked about. So, like, if I said, oh, she's for panic attacks, I have anxiety and depression and whatever, and another thing that I don't talk about right now, but I will later. You know what I mean? Like, if I said that, like, they'd be like, oh my god, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, because then it gets into the whole debate, are psychiatric service dogs just ESAs? And I definitely disagree with that completely, because I have a video of Hope. I got on video Hope at 8 months old responding to a panic attack, and I'll link that down below, because I think that that's really important for you guys to see, like, what she actually does, or what she's training to do. That was a really, really bad attack, and I haven't had one that bad since then, but you never know when they come, and I don't want her to alert to them, because I think that would be very hard, because I'm the type of person who is anxious, like, probably a good 60% of the time. So that's not fair to her to be, like, alerting, anxious, like, paw. Like, literally, if I had her scratch me or paw me every single time, I would have, like, claw marks everywhere, right? And that's not fair. But if she were to respond by doing, let's say, deep pressure therapy or something like that, then that would be a little bit better, I think. So, basically, what I'm asking is if you guys have any tips for going into a store, and you guys don't even have to have a PCA, you could just have, like, your mom or your dad or your best friend or your brother, your sister, your cousin, whoever. Like, give me your tips on going into a store with a dog, like, good, bad, ugly, getting through the aisle with them, because, like, that's the other thing. Like, if I were to go to, like, Old Navy, like, the aisles are so small that I could barely fit in with my chair sometimes. So, like, how do I get in with a dog? And she's only 40 pounds. Like, she's half the size of my best friend's dog, and they do it. But, like, also, my friend has different issues than I do. So, like, how do we do that? Yeah, that's the thing. So, leave your comments down below, please. I'd appreciate it. So it turns out that we're not bringing the dog because my mom doesn't want to, because it's late in the afternoon and it's kind of been a tough day, just life-wise. But I think that I'm still going to keep that footage because it's good footage, and I'll basically title this, like, leave me with your tips and tricks, because the only public exposure that Hope has had was to go inside, Saul. Was to my sister's house the other night, and then to Cassidy's house a bunch, and PetSmart training for 6 weeks, plus training with the other trainer.